Hi guys, it's Aphrodite Child here. It's actually ronpet for me today, which is a Kemetic New Year, and it's also my little boy's birthday. So I always celebrate my ronpet on my little boy's birthday. So it's kind of double celebration today. So I'll be doing I'll be getting rid of the snake in my ronpet celebration New Year. Thinking about the deities that I work with, and I'll also be, even though it's not mandatory to veil in Kemeticism like it is in Hellenism and also in the Roman religion. You can veil in Kemeticism if you wanted to. So I have my own Egyptian headband, which I'll be wearing today. For me veiling when I do that. So I will be getting ready to do that in the next few hours before we go out and celebrate my little boy's birthday, as well as me celebrating my New Year in Kemeticism. I have 2 New Years because I also have the New Year where we're welcoming the New Year, and I also celebrate Christmas, the Sabbaths, and Kemetic New Year as well. So I just thought for this day on ronpet that I will show you the Egyptian Book of the Dead of Going Forth by Day, the complete papyrus of Ani, and it's by Dr. Raymond O. Faulkner. So this is the complete papyri of Ani. It basically talks about Annie's journey into the afterlife, and the halls of truths, and obviously the A'adu, which is known as the fields of reeds. I personally don't believe in the afterlife. It's not a path for me. It's not something that I generally would want as my belief. And how what happens to me personally. I'm all for coming back and reincarnation. The afterlife already really scares me as it is. And it's not really something that I generally want to believe in, and I don't really want any part of that. But I do believe that we have to go past the A'aru to get to the reincarnation. Not that we generally go through into the A'aru, but we do have to go past it to get into the reincarnation stage. So that's just my personal intake, because I find like the afterlife sometimes can feel quite Christian as well. I know that it's different for every religion, the whole how you get into the A'aru, and and the Elysium fields, for the Greco-Roman, afterlife. But yeah, it's not for me. I generally, I don't really, I don't feel comfortable with the whole concept, of living forever. I don't like it. It's not something that I generally, even from experiences I was experiencing in ages ago, we never used to really talk about the afterlife stuff. It wasn't something that, I personally felt connected to. I generally believe there was a lot more than that. I generally believe that, that we get a lot when, that we can get brought back, and continue, our life, and, the past becomes a memory, and how it reflects, this one can help you in your part in this life, and but yeah, the afterlife is a topic that I won't really speak about, from my personal belief, because I don't really believe in it. I believe that, that we go past the afterlife to get to the reincarnation stage. We don't exactly go through the Aru or the Elysian fields, but, it's, I don't, it's not a topic for me. But obviously I will talk about it for those that believe in the afterlife. If you wanted me to mention about, the A'aru, and, what it entails and things, how to get to the A'aru, and do like a topic on that, only if you guys wanted me to. But from my personal perspective, for me to talk about it, from my belief, it's something I won't do, because it's not a path that I generally want to go down, and for me. But I'll do it for you guys if you generally want me to do a subject on the afterlife, for your benefits. but it's not a belief of mine. So we do have a religious text in Chemeticism. In the Greco-Roman religion, there isn't a religious text in there, but in Chemeticism, it does have one. And ancient Egyptians were all about colour, as you can see. And basically this translation is all the hieroglyphs. As you can see, they were all for colour. And if I can find it, this chapter here, I have read all this. Is more of Annie's journey in to get to the A'aru, which is known as the Fields of Reeds in English. But yeah, I literally have read all this. If you already have Budge's version, because obviously Budge's version is very outdated, you can always get a new translation and correct, the Budge's work. Or if you don't have any Book of the Dead to do with if you're involved in Chemeticism, I can recommend in getting this. It is really big. It is a really big book. I also I do know about the pyramid texts, which are known as the funerary rites. Sorry if I'm not saying it right, but it is known as the pyramid texts. I've been wanting that book for a while. Also to do like a memory recap of the pyramid texts and everything. So I will be investing in that book, and it'd be also by I think there's one by James Allen, and there's also one by Faulkner as well. Either of them, if you're interested. And this one's the Declaration of Innocence. So these is again, as you can see, if you do believe in, if you're involved in Chemeticism and you do actually believe in, the A'aru, I know that some ancient Egyptians, they actually tricked Osiris, known as Auser in Egyptian, into believing that they were worthy of the afterlife. So this is all Annie's journey. Into the A'aru. As you can see, they were very all for colour. People believe that the ancient Egyptians were all for death. They weren't. They were all for life. They were all for living. They were all for a lot of things. We have a lot to thank the ancient Egyptians, because it was the ancient Egyptians who invented keys, and it was the ancient Egyptians who invented toothpaste. So if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be able to lock our doors and, or even brush our teeth, because they invented that. It was their invention. But obviously, the keys and toothpastes have changed over the years because, they've just evolved with time. They've changed with time. So, but yeah. And all this here is the hymn to Osiris, which is all that there. This is a really good translation by Faulkner. It's I would say, very accurate. It's the most recommended book. I know that a lot of Chemetics really render Budge. Some Chemetics do believe that, he were a thief, and, they render him. A lot of Chemetics will not buy his work whatsoever. I know that Egyptologists always recommend Faulkner's Book of the Dead. They don't recommend Budge's work whatsoever. It is out of date, it's not a modern. I know that some Chemetics do have Budge's translation, I mean, if you already have it, I can recommend also getting Falconers, because it would make it easier for you to be able to correct Budgish translations if you already have it. If you don't already have it, I'd recommend to not go out and buy it, but to buy Falconer's version. But if you do have Budge's version already, don't throw it away. Just get an up-to-date version of the Book of the Dead, which I could recommend Falconer's work, and just correct Budge's translations. But that's just my personal intake, my personal suggestion. But they were very, very all for colour. I do actually have a documentary of the Book of the Dead, which actually is about Annie, which actually, from a UPG perspective, actually goes quite well with this book. That's just my marks from where, reading up to, because I've actually read all this. I've read all this twice. And I've also laid it on my bed as well as like a protective barrier thing for me, because I do ancient Egyptian magic. And, so I was using this also as kind of like a protective barrier, but yeah. This to me is a hell of a lot better than the Christian Bible, because when I was in Christianity, not from my choice, I literally binned all the Bibles, but with this, I kept it, I kept this, and, I think this is, even though that I did leave Kemetichism because of spiritual stuff, because I was in there for 3 years, but it always felt like I never left because I was actually missing it. But then, I ended up not missing it because I was getting a reminder of, the spiritual things I were experiencing. And, it just got far too much, for me to deal with, and I didn't really feel that a lot of it, the experiences also felt too Christian, but it wasn't revolved around, the path that I was on, the deities that, I was working with. But yeah, it's, but, I never got rid of this, but I was missing it, and it just feels now like I've never left, because obviously all my Egypt things were still around, I didn't take any of them down, I still kept them up, and they were, and I was also helping people in their Egypt paths as well, and so I was still constantly around it, so this is why it feels like I've also never left, So it kind of like lured me back in it again, and then I had Ampu come in, and, because he can lead people back, into Kemetichism. So as you can see, they are generally all for colour. The ancient Egyptians, they found it easy to write in erratic. I don't know whether I'm saying the right word here. Oh, I do know this. Was it erratic? Erratic? I think it could have been erratic, but I don't know whether I'm saying the right word, but I know what I'm meaning. Because this would take forever to write. So they never really used to write. When they used to write like messages and things, and they didn't write in hieroglyphs. When you're speaking to an Egyptologist, you have to say hieroglyphs, but when you're not, it's hieroglyphics. You only have to say hieroglyphs when you're speaking to an Egyptologist, because you have to say it the right way. But they were all for colour, literally all for colour. And that's Ma'aset and Osed, or Aused. As you can see, she's wearing her original crown, which is the seat, which is like the throne of Osiris. And this is the hymn to the sun. So all this here is basically all that. This book from Amazon, I got it brand new. It was like 20 quid. Free postage. I got it like the next day. Yeah, they were all fall colour. There's actually demons in Chemeticism, which are, because there's actually kind of like, in Chemeticism belief in the Chemetic underworld, there are two sets of demons. You've got like the incubus section of demons that are like where they attack, and you've got like the good demons in Chemeticism, where they have like knives for feet. I know that Tut Tut is also like known as, if anyone works with Tut Tut, he's known as the protector of the sleep, and he also deals with sleep attacks that happen on a night, because the ancient Egyptians saw themselves as being quite vulnerable on a night, which were prone to psychic attacks and things, which we are quite vulnerable when we sleep. And I wear my protective Egyptian necklace that my friend bought me, is to protect me from nightmares and psychic attacks as well. I think I've already may have shown this. Yeah, Declaration of Innocence, yeah. I just thought today would be a brilliant day to actually show the book of the day with, special day, my little boy's birthday and my Kemetic New Year web ronpet. Again, I'm not raising my son in any of these three sister religions, that I'm a part of. I don't feel comfortable with it. It's not for me to do. The book of the day can also, provide you with a lot of comfort. And here it explains what it means. Yes, darling? I want to again. All right, well, I'll put it on there when you go back in your room, and I'll put it on for you. Oh, bring your iPad in here then. Okay. Sorry, I have visitations by little Cupid. Little surprise guest. There you go, darling. So as you can see, you have a chapter driving off a snake. You're welcome, darling. So you can see you have a chapter driving off a snake, and it tells you what it all means. Sorry guys, I'm just going to shut the bedroom door. And you have a chapter for going out into the day. So it kind of, just explains what it each means. And it continues on and so forth. And this is like back of the book. Oh, actually, no, sorry. It was £27. No, actually, no, because this is where you would buy it from the shop. Yeah, it was definitely £20 on Amazon because I did get this from Amazon, not from any bookstore. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video on the Egyptian Book of the Dead. And if you do like this video, please give it a like. And if you're interested in hearing more from me, do subscribe to my channel. And I hope you have a really, really lovely day. And I will see you in the next one. Happy ronpet, guys.